Well, today's video is a how to make rough bark. For this it's an olive, but I'm sure it would work on other trees as well. And I'll let you in on a secret. A bit of sandpaper and a bit of elbow grease and you'll get some rough bark. So, I suppose I should start as to why you get rough bark if you sandpaper it, because what happens is a tree tries to heal itself a bit like if a bodybuilder, tears his muscles. They have to basically strengthen, or if you're working a shovel all day, they callus over and you get some callus or some bark on your hands. Well, same for a tree. You give it a bit of a hard time with some sandpaper and she barks up. Now I've got an after. I'm going to show you how to do it. And this is what it looks like after on this tree, because this was my experimental tree. And yeah, just show you how to make some rough bark on your tree if you've got really young looking bark that you're not really happy with. If it's a really good tree, just either experiment on one branch or something. If it's not an olive, olive seems fine. Okay, I'm going to do it on this big olive here, which is, if not my best, close to my best tree I've got, especially my best olive. And I'm willing to give it a go on that today for the video and to get some rough bark. So this one here has been done, so you'll get to see the results straight away. You don't have to wait 6 months for the results, they're already here. And I'm just going to show you the process. I've also got a file in case things, are a bit harder than I thought. But basically all I'm going to be doing is grabbing your sandpaper, wherever it's smooth. This one's starting to bark up already, I'll show you in a second. Wherever it's smooth, okay, I'm just going to rub it back. So we get that green. And then what will happen is the tree will try and heal, and just bring in close. Okay guys, so let's try and do it on this side. So what we're going to do is get this sandpaper. You can see how this is actually starting to get some rough bark. This has been in the pot for 12 years and it's just starting to get rough bark in the last few years. But I want to speed it up, and where it's smooth, I'm going to sandpaper it. So all you do, grab your sandpaper, rub it down pretty raw. Okay, this looks brutal, definitely does look brutal, but I did exactly the same on the other tree as an experiment. Turned out beautiful. Okay, so you can see that. I'll take you in on a close-up of that. Really butchered up the bark. You can see that. Really, scun it pretty hard. Obviously I won't be touching this bit because that's already got nice bark, but these smooth bits up the trunk and even on the branching, I plan on getting in there, rubbing it back pretty hard. Now results, I'll show you the results. So this tree a year ago, exactly the same treatment. Looked like that, quite smooth bark along the branches and the trunk. You can see up here, those branches is what it used to look like. And then I got sandpaper out and sandpapered it. The tree itself is not very good, it's got reverse taper and all that, but you get the idea on the bark. Have a look at the transformation on that bark. Okay, so definitely does make it bark up. And the same thing, I had the whole thing, well, on a human you'd say red raw, but on a tree I had it green raw. and you know, the tree repaired itself and barked up. So I'm going to do the same over here. Now, you know, this is an olive. Olives are tough, so please, if you try it on other species with thin bark, please be wary and do it in patches just to see how it goes, or maybe don't rub it quite so hard, just do a little bit of damage. Okay, so that's a decent amount of damage there. Maybe just do a little bit of damage. Right, and if that doesn't work, I'll show you another method. Okay guys, so if you're a bit impatient like me, and you get sick of the sandpaper clogging up, or you've got a big tree so it's going to clog up a lot, another thing you can do is get a fairly coarse file. Okay. Even that, I believe, is not coarse enough. You can see the damage coming on. Like I say, I'm just doing it where the bark's smooth, where it's already rough, I'm not going to touch. It looks brutal, I know, but you know, the tree wants to live. It wants to repair, and when it does, it makes its skin even thicker. So cruise over the tree like that. You can see we're really starting to get quite aggressive on it, and I'm just going to continue the process up the whole tree. Okay, so that's how you do it. Just roughing it up, making it, you know, have a sook, but she'll recover, and in the end that smoothish bark will look like that. So you can see how that's even starting to plate up a little bit, which is pretty good for an olive. So I'm going to continue to do that on a hyperlapse through the whole tree, and I'll show you at the end. Okay guys, I've got a big tree, so I'm actually going to use the wire bit on the die grinder because I'm lazy. But on that other tree I did not, and you don't need to. I'm just lazy. I want to see how it goes first though, and then I'll go on hyperlapse. No, can't use it. Too aggressive. Have a look at that. Way too aggressive. It'll kill the tree. Okay? It'll callus up around that bit, but if I did that around the whole tree, it'd be dead. So don't use a die grinder. Back to the sandpaper, and I'll see you on a hyperlapse. G'day guys, well it was hard to see in there, but I've managed to sandpaper most of everything. I've done everything on the main trunk all the way up the top. I've done most of the primary branches, at least the first bit of the branch, and a lot of them out onto the second bits of the branch, and some out onto the tertiary or the third branching. And as you can see, all that green that you can see there is where I've stripped the bark with a bit of sandpaper. It's a big job, took a lot of sandpaper. I've been using 40 grit, so it does a good job at roughing it up, because what you're doing is you're causing scarring, which then the tree has to heal by making bark. I haven't gone completely silly and gone every twig, so you can see in here one's not done there, but closer in is done, all roughed up. So hopefully that'll create some nice rough bark, and this tree will look 20 years older even though it's still young. And you can see there on the main trunk it's completely been scun. It actually, now that that was one of the original ones done, it actually goes into this bruised yellow sort of look after a while, which is fine. That's how she rolls. But just bear in mind it goes into a bruised yellow look, goes green at start, bruised yellow look later. And well, if all works out, it'll turn into that. You can see that bark. Not a particularly good tree, that one, but it does give you a demo on what happens with the bark. So let's hope that happens with that one. Guys, no worries. Cheers for watching. Aussie Bonsai Bloke. Please like, share, subscribe, tell your mates about the channel, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.